Well, once again, we're in the garage for another detailing journal. Excuse me if I sound a little different or congested rather. I actually got another cold since a month ago. Last one was a month ago. This one was a lot worse. My throat was bad. My nose is still congested, like stuffy and all that stuff. I've gotten the worst part of it out of the way. It's just dealing with the mucus. But anyway, that aside, I actually went ahead and proceeded with the next project for the garage, which is now the floor. And as you can see, it's a lot different now. And this really brings it to the next step or the next level. So what you're looking at is, or what I did was I bought these tiles actually. These are garage tiles meant for the garage, of course, but especially with hopefully the car, as I saw on the Amazon page. But yeah, I bought it through Amazon. I actually bought a 50 pack of pretty much 6 boxes, which kind of was a little funny because I actually bought one earlier just to sample it, just to see, what the color is like when I'm working with. And so that was the purpose of that. And I forgot about that somehow. So I actually bought an extra box pretty much. And that wound up going through the cost a little more. But I'm able to refund that box, so it's fine. And so, not a big deal. All I have to do is just bring it to UPS. But yeah, these are from Vevor, to be exact, if you want to know about that. And these are supposed to be kind of like the substitute for the more expensive stuff, which a number of you detailers know as Swiss Tracks. Swiss Tracks is the premium sort of brand name when it comes to this type of stuff, the floor tiling, the garage, and basically they come in like different colors and such. I think they're even like a little bigger too at that. They're like 15 by 15 by 15 or something like, oh no, 15 by 15, excuse me. And unlike these ones. So they're a little bigger, I think, but they come in different colors, so that kind of brings up the price quite a bit. And I think they come in like different patterns and everything, how it's rigged and everything. So that also comes into play of, why people buy Swiss Tracks, because it does look nice. I will give it that. But for someone like me, who even is trying to cover up this much of the garage, it's quite expensive. So you can imagine, right? For those bigger garages, they're paying top dollar for that stuff. But yeah, I wanted to do this for a long while now because obviously the floor is not the greatest looking, not the prettiest looking. Long story short, this garage had asbestos tiles that I've been saying like a number of times early on in my other journals, and we got that out eventually during December. I found that out actually in like October or something like that through a random YouTube comment. I was like, oh wow, because I just did a Google image search and they matched the tile. I was like, oh shit, okay, let's get that out there, get out of here. And we got that out. So I had to go grab a cough drop actually, just so in case I don't really ruin my throat. But anyway, where was I? So after we remove all the asbestos tiles, while we had to move all the stuff into the backyard, move it back in here, it kind of inspired me and motivated me to kind of like dress up the garage a little further, because, we got rid of like essentially what was like childhood memories with the green tiles and everything. We kind of got rid of them. And then I thought, maybe it's time to also kind of ditch the old look of the garage and at least dress it up a little more, well, you know, as much as we can. And so that prompted me to not only get paint for the wall, but also look into the tiles as well, like to cover up the mess that's been left as a result of the asbestos tiles being removed. It like coated it with some sort of, I don't know, I think it's like some sort of latex paint or something like that. Just something to cover up the floor after being asbestos absent. And obviously it wasn't like the prettiest looking floor, but you know, it's a garage still. And I literally could have rolled with it for the rest of its life. But after some point of the asbestos situation, I was inspired to, for whatever reason, to kind of like, you know what? We kind of like went our way to get rid of this stuff. Why don't I, to the best of my ability, dress up the garage? And so I went ahead and planned it out, you know, to paint the walls. Not only that, but to also pick out the garage tile, right? To cover up all this latex paint, whatever, right? Whatever it is. And as you can see, it definitely paid off. Getting there was definitely a pain in the butt, of course, as anything. Painting the walls was a pain in the butt. I already said that in the previous video. And then now, the floor, right? The garage tiles. So, again, just to kind of clarify, what I'm using is these garage tiles from Vevor. Because they're a lot cheaper. They're not even half the price. They're like a third or something like that. It's incredible, you know. There are some caveats to put up with though, as any cheaper version of said product. But first off, installing them was not that hard. You know, you just literally lay it on the floor and then use some sort of, you could even like use your body weight to connect the tiles all the way and move on to the next section. What I did was essentially connect the tiles one at a time, one down the row, as I moved the stuff out of the way, you know, piece by piece. I actually started with the biggest pain in the ass, which is the fridge, right? The mini fridge. I had to move it and then put the tiles in, and then put it over the tiles, and then proceeded with the rest, which turned out not that optimal in the grand scheme of things, because what I should have done was start with the door and then work my way over here. Why is that? It's because I could have controlled what direction the tiles are facing. And not only I got the tiles right, I had these edges, right? I'll even like bring out a sample possibly. But yeah, oh, never mind, it's all boxed up, never mind. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I had the edges to attach to for these specifically for these tiles. But because of the direction they're facing, so these edges are female, I believe. And what I was supposed to take was the male side of the tiles. But what happened was, because I didn't follow the directions and didn't really think about it, I just went, all right, let's just put down the tiles, and then it was a certain direction. So pretty much on the side of where the door is the female side, and when I was supposed to put it on the male side. So that was a bit of a setback. So I had to wind up spending an extra $12 to get the correct edges. And even so, I might have to buy one more pack just so I can fill in that one gap. But I may opt out to do that. But basically, I kind of wished I started with the door side and then go down this way rather than the opposite direction. But I don't know, it still works. You know, it's not like the tiles are any different. It's just the edges. I gave myself an extra little pain, you know, by spending 12 more bucks for a pack of them. The installation of itself beyond the mini fridge was relatively easy. And apart from like moving the racks and the shelves to the middle and then work on the area and then work on the next part of the area, it was easy. So it just took a lot of pounding with a dead blow hammer or a rubber mallet or plastic mallet. And, you know, just a lot of moving around and back and forth, you know, down this way and then more down this way. The only other hitch, I should say, was, so for those who have caught with their sharp eyes, in the earlier shots of my garage, there was a big crack on the garage floor. I forget exactly why it happened, but either someone didn't lay the concrete correctly long time ago, like this is like 1950s kind of timeline, or we had a tree right here, right in front of the house. It's not even like a big tree; it's like just like a little, like not a little but tree, but like a big shrub, basically, like a giant stump, but with like some foliage out. It's kind of hard to explain, but that was also kind of like a childhood memory. The roots of that came through here and basically lifted up the floor over time. When exactly it cracked the concrete, I don't know. I imagine it was somewhere, I want to say like maybe somewhere in the 80s, 70s. I don't know. Who knows at this point? But it was way before I was born, in the 90s. Kind of a bit of history, more history here. But basically, yeah, there was a big crack, and that represented a potential problem with how the tiles are going to sit. But as you can see, you know, there's nothing strange about it. There's nothing like creaking or cracking or, you know, there's a bit of a hump, like a tiny little unevenness, but it's only noticeable when you walk over it, right? It's nothing, I don't think you even like notice when you know, look through the camera and stuff. So it's kind of cool that the tiles kind of like flex and kind of pretty much cover up all the defects and defaults, or no, excuse me, defects of the garage floor, and then some. And then looks great while doing so. But yeah, so after a lot of perseverance, a lot of pounding and such like that, there you go. This is what you see right here, right? What you see is what happened and the end result of the next step for this garage. And probably for the final one, at least for a long while, because I honestly don't know what to do next, other than maybe do something about this pressure washer setup down over here on this side. I'm talking about this side. Like, I could just leave it as it is. I could also maybe do something else with it. If anyone has any ideas, I'm all ears at this point. Probably just paint it, maybe put a big freaking piece of wood over it, and then paint it. I don't know. Getting a piece of wood that big probably is honestly the hardest part, and then just attaching it. Mounting it won't be that much of an issue because I have the screws for them. It's really just a matter of like, okay, which one should I go for, you know? Which like type of wood and like all that stuff. I don't know, honestly. I mean, it could be just like a piece of like plywood or something, big old piece of plywood, and call it a day, and then redo the post, or not the post, but like the mounting um, pieces of wood that's already on the wall anyway. I don't know, honestly. I really don't know what else to do. But I think leaving it alone is probably for the best for a long while, because it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of sweat and a little bit of tears, hypothetical tears, but luckily little to no blood. So I guess you could say it could have been a lot worse. So yeah, that's pretty much the big gist of it. When it comes to what else happened to the garage, I'll just kind of take you through like different parts of the area. I guess starting from here, and you can see from my previous video, I think I explained that I spilled paint and just blat. So I splatted all over here, and then even like up there, you can see splats of paint. That was kind of funny in retrospect, but when it first happened, I was pissed. Anyway, the only weird thing about this garage is that there's a bit of unevenness going on here, whether it be this door, the tile itself, like how I set it, or something in the garage, something else in the garage made it is like crooked. I think the tile does play a part of why it looks crooked, because there is a gap right here more than I thought. So if you look over here where my finger is, you can see there's a gap right there. I kind of went in head first and didn't really think about what I was doing. Yeah, so I think that does come into play. But the fact that, I don't know, even so, I think there is something going on with this garage itself, and I'm not gonna fuck with that. No way. But yeah, but other than that, this is flushed against the wall for sure. On this side, so that works. When it comes to this side, it's well enough. There's a bunch of shit right here, so that covers it up. The only thing I didn't do is tile up this area right here where the washing machines are, or the dryer and the washing machines are. And that's for the best. I don't want to fuck with that. I did a bit of cutting for this tile right here, because it's where my air compressor sits. But also this door, kind of, honestly, I should probably like do a bit more cutting right here, somewhere down the road, and so that this door can open whenever we need to access to the boiler. But I can always just remove that tile and then that's it. So we can go with that. But other than that, looks pretty good, right? All in all, the only other modification I had to do is if I move this bucket right here, there's this random piece of this metal pole looking thing right here. I don't know what it is for. It came out from the ground. I tried to drive it back in, but it won't. It's just kind of like bent up. I've never like really noticed what was this for, and when it started to stick out like that. And I've never like paid attention to it, even as a kid. But what I did though, because it was kind of getting in the way of the tile, I just cut the corner right here, and that's pretty much it. I may actually, honestly, cut out a little piece right here. I don't know. It doesn't really matter at this point. It's not that big of a deal. If I really want to like perfect it, but other than that, not a big deal, because that's where my buckets are gonna go anyway, and there's like stuff right here, so it's like there's really no point to really try to like go that extra mile just for that little bit of cleaning up for how to, you know, really perfect the stuff. Because I have this stuff anyway, so it's like, you know, it's not gonna be pristine no matter how you look at it. What the important thing though is that the tiles, you know, essentially cover up all this area, and it looks really, really nice at that. So again, these are Vevor garage tiles. If anyone is thinking about doing stuff like this, give it a shot. They're cheap by comparison to Swiss tracks, but hey, if you want that fanciness to it, then more power to you. That's your choice. But I went with these because first off, the gray color is perfect. It goes with the wall just fine. And they also do the job as well. Like they cover up the garage tile, and hopefully it'll support the Mini Cooper in long term. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated on how it goes. But first impressions, looks great. It came out great for the most part. A little bit of hitches here and there. The only thing to kind of think about though is that because they are cheap, you definitely want to be a little careful with the pounding with the mallet, because if they're not lined up right and you pound it, it's gonna break the teeth or like the things that connect with each other, right? It'll break apart if you're like not too careful. It has some resistance to it, but when it comes to those parts, when you hammer it down, it'll break apart easily if you're not careful. As long as you put your mind to it, it'll go fine. Because look at it. If I'm able to do this, you guys are able to do this. It's pretty much that easy. And then yeah, just work around your stuff. You know, I mean, if you're willing to take that extra mile, you can cut it to your specifications to fit those really specific areas like that, for example, and then that part, for example, you know, stuff like that. There is going to be likely some amount of improv that you're going to have to do to improvise and such. Yeah, so it's funny, like when you look at it from here, it looks so flawless, right? But once you like walk directly where the defect was, yeah, you can definitely see, you know, the crack, right? The big ass crack and all that stuff. You can see it, but it's still like, that's like the baggage, right? With these sort of tile, because they're supposed to like, what do you call? Drain out the water. And then when you have a drainage channel, it'll definitely like go in that direction, and then it'll drain out the water, right? And yeah, my stuff also, for those who are worried about like the wheels and stuff like that, I mean, if you're worried about that, it still rolls around just fine. You know, so I'm testing it right now, and it still rolls out just fine. The only thing though is that, yeah, the edges need to be, the edges need to have that ramp thing. So I'm waiting for that to come in with the right direction, if you know what I'm saying. So let me actually test out my knee creeper right here to see if I'm gonna have any trouble rolling around that stuff. Oh yeah, not really. Look at that. Look at that. And then can I put my weight on it and roll around with it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nothing's, sounds like nothing's cracking. I'm putting my body weight on over the tiles. Nothing is cracking. I can roll around just fine. Obviously with a camera in my hand, that's what makes it a little hard. But I can roll around just fine on my little knee creeper. So for those who are worried about that, there you go. You don't have to worry about that. All right. For those who are curious though, it is about, I think it's about 60 to 80 bucks per box. So yeah, do the math and there you go. My total cost, more or less, was about $500, more or less. Maybe at most 600 because I did buy the extra box like a month before. So let's just throw that in there because why not? So 500, 600. Yeah, now that I think about it, it is $80 per box with a pack of 50 in it. I'll definitely leave the link in the description below for you guys to check out the tile. No affiliation, no sponsorship or anything like that. I bought it with my own money, man. All this stuff, my own money right here. The tiles, cash money, man. But yeah, take another look. I think it looks great, and hopefully these will serve this garage long term just fine and such. So yep, Vevor garage tiles, 50 pack for $80 each. You can do the math from there. I bought like, so overall I used about 5.5 boxes worth, and each of the tiles are a square foot. So keep that in mind. So I believe that means 5 boxes, so that's already 25. Yeah, 250. 250 plus, like, I don't know, just under 300, right? Just under 300 tiles, because I didn't have to like cover the washing machine area. I don't have to cover the closet area over there. So there was a bit of more of a leniency there. And I also wound up with an extra box. I am refunding one because I didn't like really use it. So, but I did use a bit of another box. So that means I can't give it back or whatever. I can't refund it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it from me. So thank you guys so much. What do you guys think? If you already have garage tiles in a garage, leave it down below. Share your experience, how you like them, how you not like them. What are the quirks that you've been dealing with? When it comes to like acoustics, it doesn't really do much. I don't think. It might do a little bit of something, but I don't think for me, it's really doing a whole lot. But maybe it's doing something. I don't know. But they're not the most like insulating sort of material or anything like that. It's just it just feels like somewhat of a tougher plastic. Anyways, thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll definitely try to get back into the detailing more now. Now that like the biggest parts of the garage project are done. The only thing I would want to add for the garage is a AC unit of some kind. It'll just be like a portable one. Slap it right there. Have the hose exhaust right there in that window. That's pretty much it. And maybe do something about that pressure washer corner over there. Maybe. But that's it. I'm kind of glad that the biggest hurdles are over. And that's pretty much it. Thanks. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Sean out. Como era en el principio, ahora y siempre, por los siglos de los siglos. Amén. María.